Ladies and gentlemen, they say that words can heal, but they can also wound in ways that linger far beyond the moment. When someone disregards your feelings, it is not just an oversight, it is a reflection of their priorities and their respect for you. Dismissing someone's emotions, whether through indifference, mockery, or outright invalidation, is one of the clearest signs that they do not truly care. It is a behavior that erodes trust, weakens relationships, and leaves emotional scars that can take years to heal. People who disregard your feelings often do so in subtle ways at first. They might roll their eyes when you express frustration, sigh impatiently when you share your concerns, or dismiss your emotions as an overreaction. Over time, this behavior becomes more pronounced. You begin to hesitate before speaking up, questioning whether your feelings are even valid. You start to internalize the idea that your emotions are a burden rather than a natural part of your human experience. This is how toxic individuals maintain control, by making you doubt your own reality. In healthy relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, emotions are acknowledged and respected. No one has to agree with everything you feel, but a caring person will make an effort to understand and validate your experience. They will listen, even if they do not fully grasp why something affects you deeply. They will offer support, even if they cannot provide a solution. But when someone constantly dismisses your feelings, they are sending a clear message: your emotions are inconvenient to them. They do not want to engage with your pain, your joy, or your struggles because it requires effort and emotional presence, two things they are unwilling to give. A common tactic used by those who disregard your feelings is gaslighting. This is when they twist reality to make you question yourself. If you confront them about their hurtful words or actions, they may say you're being too sensitive, or I never said that, even when you clearly remember the conversation. Over time, this can cause deep self-doubt. You might start to wonder if you are, in fact, too emotional, too needy, or too difficult. But the truth is, your emotions are not the problem, their lack of respect for them is. Another sign of emotional disregard is when someone consistently invalidates your experiences. If you express sadness, they tell you to just get over it. If you are anxious, they say you are worrying for nothing. Instead of offering empathy, they shut down the conversation, making you feel as though your emotions are not worthy of acknowledgement. This is particularly damaging because emotions do not disappear just because someone refuses to acknowledge them. Instead, they build up, turning into frustration, resentment, and self-doubt. Sometimes the disregard is not verbal but shown through actions. When someone repeatedly cancels plans without explanation, ignores your messages, or fails to show up during important moments in your life, they are demonstrating that your feelings do not matter to them. Words can be deceiving, but actions reveal the truth. A person who cares will make time, listen, and adjust their behavior when they realize they have hurt you. Someone who does not care will continue as they always have, expecting you to simply accept their neglect. In many cases, people who disregard your feelings do so because they prioritize their own comfort over your emotional well-being. They do not want to deal with difficult conversations, so they brush off your concerns. They do not want to take responsibility for their actions, so they make you feel guilty for even bringing them up. This is a form of emotional selfishness. Instead of working through issues together, they make you feel like the problem for even having emotions in the first place. Recognizing this behavior is crucial because it allows you to take control of your emotional health. When you start noticing patterns of emotional disregard, it is important to set boundaries. You do not have to beg for understanding, nor should you have to repeatedly explain why your feelings matter. A person who truly values you will recognize your emotions as valid, even if they do not always agree with them. They will listen, acknowledge, and respond with care. But if someone continually dismisses your feelings, it may be time to accept the truth: they do not care, and it is not your responsibility to make them. Manipulation is a quiet, insidious force that can slowly erode a person's sense of reality, confidence, and self-worth. It is not always obvious at first, but over time, its effects can be deeply damaging. A manipulative person does not care about honesty, fairness, or respect. Instead, they focus on control, shaping situations and people to serve their own needs, regardless of the harm they cause along the way. They do not express genuine care, they only pretend to, using words and actions as tools to influence and deceive. One of the most common forms of manipulation is guilt tripping. A manipulator will make you feel responsible for their emotions, problems, or even failures. If you try to set boundaries, they might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Or, "I guess I just don't matter to you anymore." Their goal is to make you feel guilty enough to do what they want, even at the expense of your own well-being. They twist your kindness into a weakness, exploiting your natural empathy to maintain control. Gaslighting is another powerful manipulation tactic. This is when someone makes you doubt your own memories, feelings, or perceptions. If you bring up something they said or did that hurt you, they might respond with, "I never said that," or "You're just imagining things." Over time, this can make you question your own judgment. You may start relying on them to define reality for you, which is exactly what they want: control over your thoughts and emotions. Manipulators also use selective kindness to keep you attached to them. They might be cruel, dismissive, or distant most of the time, but just when you start pulling away, they suddenly become affectionate. They apologize, promise to change, or shower you with attention. But this kindness is not genuine. It is a calculated move to keep you from leaving. The cycle repeats, trapping you in a constant state of emotional confusion. Ultimately, manipulation thrives on insecurity and self-doubt. A manipulative person wants you to feel dependent on them, unsure of yourself, and hesitant to challenge their behavior. The moment you recognize manipulation for what it is, you take away its power. True care is never rooted in control or deception. If someone truly values you, they will respect your boundaries, support your independence, and engage with you honestly. Anything less is not care, it is manipulation disguised as love, concern, or friendship. There are people who claim to care about you, but their actions reveal something entirely different. They do not check in to see how you are doing, they do not celebrate your successes, and they are nowhere to be found when you need support. Yet, when they need something, a favor, your time, your resources, or your emotional support, they suddenly appear, acting as if your relationship has always been strong. This is one of the clearest signs that someone does not truly care about you. They care about what you can provide for them. These individuals operate in a one-sided manner, always taking but rarely giving. They may disguise their self-interest as friendship or concern, but their behavior follows a predictable pattern. They reach out when they need help, framing their request in a way that makes you feel obligated to assist. They may remind you of the good times you have shared or appeal to your sense of duty. But once they get what they want, they disappear, only to return when another need arises. Over time, this pattern can become exhausting and emotionally draining. You may start to notice that your interactions with them feel transactional rather than genuine. There is no depth, no real emotional connection, just an ongoing cycle where they benefit at your expense. You might even catch yourself justifying their behavior, telling yourself that they are just busy, that they do care but have a lot going on. But deep down, you know the truth. If someone values you only when they need something, they do not truly value you at all. What makes this behavior particularly harmful is the illusion of care. These people may act warm and affectionate in the moment, making you believe they appreciate you. They may say all the right things, expressing gratitude and promising to return the favor someday. But when you need them, they are absent. Excuses pile up: "I've been swamped, I meant to reach out," or "I just have so much going on right now." Yet somehow, when they are in need, they always manage to find the time to contact you. This type of relationship is not just unfair, it is emotionally manipulative. It keeps you invested in a connection that does not serve you, making you feel used rather than valued. No one deserves to be treated like a convenience, like a tool to be picked up when needed and discarded when no longer useful. True care and friendship are built on mutual support, not selective presence. When someone truly values you, they are there not just in their moments of need but in yours as well. Anything less is not care, it is opportunism disguised as friendship. A person who truly cares about you will celebrate your successes, encourage your growth, and support your achievements. But some people do the opposite. They see your progress as a threat and treat your accomplishments as a competition. Instead of cheering you on, they downplay your achievements, try to outshine you, or subtly undermine your confidence. This behavior is not rooted in genuine care but in insecurity, jealousy, and a need for superiority. These individuals often disguise their competitiveness as playful teasing or harmless comparison. When you share good news, they might respond with, "That's great, but I've done something even better," or they shift the focus back to themselves. Rather than acknowledging your success, they try to overshadow it, making it clear that they do not want you to outshine them. They see life as a constant battle for attention, validation, and superiority. And instead of growing with you, they see you as someone they need to defeat. This competitive behavior can also manifest in subtle, passive-aggressive ways. They might give backhanded compliments, saying things like, "Wow, I didn't expect you to do that well," or "Must be nice to have such good luck." Instead of offering genuine praise, they make comments designed to make you question your own success. They may even try to discredit your efforts, suggesting that you had an unfair advantage, or that your achievement is not as impressive as it seems. At its core, this behavior stems from their own insecurities. When people feel confident in themselves, they do not need to compete with those around them. They recognize that success is not a limited resource and that someone else's achievements do not diminish their own. But when someone is insecure, they see every win you have as a loss for them. They are unable to be happy for you, because your success reminds them of what they lack or fear they will never achieve. True support is not conditional, nor is it overshadowed by jealousy. A real friend, partner, or colleague will encourage your success and want to see you thrive. They will lift you up rather than try to pull you down to their level. If someone constantly competes with you, instead of supporting you, they do not truly care about your growth. They only care about maintaining a sense of superiority, even at the cost of your relationship. When someone truly cares about you, they will protect your name even when you are not around. They will defend you against unfair criticism, speak of you with respect, and address any concerns they have directly with you. But when a person repeatedly speaks negatively about you to others, it is a clear sign that they do not genuinely value you. Their words reveal their true feelings. They may never say to your face but have no hesitation in sharing behind your back. This behavior is especially harmful because it creates an illusion of trust while simultaneously betraying it. A person who gossips about you may act supportive in your presence, smiling, offering kind words, and pretending to care. But as soon as you are not around, they spread rumors, criticize your choices, or make fun of your struggles. Their words might be disguised as concerned statements like, "I worry about them, they always make bad decisions," or "I just don't think they're as successful as they act." But in reality, their intentions are not to help you, but to damage your reputation and elevate themselves in the eyes of others. People who engage in this behavior often do so out of insecurity. They feel the need to put others down to make themselves look better. By highlighting your flaws, real or exaggerated, they shift attention away from their own shortcomings. They create a false narrative where they are the wise, level-headed individual, and you are the one who is reckless, unreliable, or unworthy of respect. This kind of negativity can spread quickly. Even if their words are not entirely believed, the mere act of speaking negatively about you plants doubt in the minds of others. People may start questioning your character, assuming there must be some truth to the gossip. Over time, this can affect relationships, opportunities, and even your own sense of self-worth. You may find yourself wondering why someone you considered a friend or ally would speak of you this way, leading to feelings of hurt and betrayal. A person who genuinely cares about you will not tear you down in front of others. If they have an issue with you, they will address it directly rather than using it as gossip material. Speaking negatively about someone behind their back is a form of deception, and anyone who engages in this behavior does not have your best interests at heart. Care is shown through loyalty and honesty, not through words spoken in secrecy to tarnish your name. Respect is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and one of the clearest ways a person shows respect is by honoring your boundaries. Boundaries exist to protect your well-being, whether they are emotional, physical, or mental. They define what you are comfortable with and how you expect to be treated. When someone truly cares about you, they will recognize and respect these limits, even if they do not always understand them. But when a person consistently disregards your boundaries, they are showing that their desires, opinions, and control over the situation matter more to them than your comfort and or me. Disrespecting boundaries can take many forms. Some people push physical boundaries by invading personal space, making unwanted contact, or ignoring your discomfort in social situations. Others disregard emotional boundaries by pressuring you to share personal information, dismissing your need for time alone, or forcing their opinions on you without considering how they make you feel. There are also those who overstep mental boundaries, manipulating you into doing things you are not comfortable with, or making decisions on your behalf without your consent. No matter how it happens, the message is the same: they believe their needs outweigh yours. At first, these violations may seem small, almost insignificant. A person might tease you for not wanting to go out when you are exhausted, persistently ask for favors even after you have said no, or interrupt your work despite knowing you need focus. But over time, these repeated behaviors send a dangerous signal that your words do not matter, your discomfort is not valid, and your limits are something to be ignored. The more this behavior is tolerated, the more the person will push, testing how much they can get away with. People who do not respect boundaries often try to justify their behavior. They might say you are being too sensitive, accuse you of overreacting, or claim they were just joking. Some will use guilt to manipulate you into compliance, making you feel selfish for enforcing your limits. But no one has the right to dictate how much of yourself you must give, or how much discomfort you should endure to make them happy. A relationship built on care and mutual respect will always include an understanding of personal space, consent, and emotional autonomy. Ultimately, when someone repeatedly disregards your boundaries, they are showing you exactly how much they respect you, and the answer is very little. True care is not about pushing limits, it is about recognizing and honoring them. If someone refuses to do that, it is not a reflection of you being too difficult, it is a reflection of them not truly valuing you as a person. Reliability is a fundamental part of any healthy relationship, whether it is a friendship, a romantic partnership, or even a professional connection. Trust is built on knowing that someone will follow through on and commitments. When a person is consistently unreliable, they send a clear message: they do not value your time, your needs, or the trust you have placed in them. They might say they care about you, but their actions tell a different story. An unreliable person often makes promises they do not keep. They say they will show up, help out, or support you in a difficult moment, but when the time comes, they are nowhere to be found. Their excuses may sound reasonable at first: something came up, I totally forgot, or I was just really busy. But over time, a pattern emerges. You start to notice that they always have time for things that benefit them, yet when you need them, they are suddenly unavailable. This inconsistency is not accidental. It is a sign that they prioritize their convenience over your trust. Beyond simply breaking promises, unreliable people create emotional instability. You never know if they will follow through or let you down. This uncertainty forces you to take on extra responsibility, planning around the likelihood that they will fail to show up or deliver. Instead of feeling supported, you feel burdened, left scrambling to fix the problems their unreliability causes. This kind of relationship is draining because it forces you to compensate for their lack of dependability. What makes this behavior even more damaging is that unreliable people rarely take accountability. Instead of acknowledging the stress and disappointment they cause, they downplay their actions. If you express frustration, they may act as if you are overreacting, accusing you of being too demanding or unreasonable. Some may even turn the blame around, making you feel guilty for expecting too much. This manipulation keeps you trapped in a cycle of hoping they will change, when in reality, they have no intention of becoming more reliable. A person who genuinely cares about you does not make you question whether you can count on them. They do not make empty promises or leave you feeling abandoned when you need them most. Instead, they show up, follow through, and make an effort to be consistent. Unreliability is not just an inconvenience, it is a sign of disregard. When someone repeatedly fails to be there for you, it is not because they are too busy or forgetful, it is because they do not truly value your presence in their life. Some people bring warmth, encouragement, and positivity into your life. They inspire you, make you feel seen, and add value to your experiences. But then there are those who do the opposite. They leave you feeling exhausted, emotionally depleted, and weighed down every time you interact with them. These individuals do not truly care about your well-being. Instead of offering support, they take your energy, leaving you with nothing in return. At first, the effects of such a relationship may not be obvious. You may even feel guilty for noticing how drained you feel after spending time with them. They may not seem openly toxic, but something always feels off. Maybe every conversation revolves around their problems, with no space for yours. Maybe they constantly complain, criticize, or dwell on negativity without ever considering solutions. Over time, you realize that their presence is not uplifting, it is suffocating. These individuals often rely on you for emotional support, but refuse to offer the same in return. They vent, unload their burdens, and expect you to listen endlessly. But when you need someone to lean on, they dismiss your feelings or quickly change the subject. They take and take, never once considering how their behavior affects you. This imbalance makes the relationship exhausting rather than fulfilling. Some draining individuals thrive on conflict, gossip, or drama. They always seem to have a new crisis, an unresolved argument, or a complaint about someone else. They pull you into their chaos, making you feel responsible for fixing their problems or taking sides in their conflicts. Even if you try to set boundaries, they find ways to drag you back in, making you feel guilty for not engaging. What makes these relationships especially damaging is how they wear you down over time. The more you engage, the more you lose sight of your own needs and emotions. You may start feeling guilty for wanting space, hesitant to express your own feelings, or even questioning whether you are overreacting. But feeling drained is not a coincidence, it is a sign that the relationship is unbalanced and unhealthy. A person who truly cares about you will not make you feel exhausted after every interaction. They will respect your energy, reciprocate support, and add positivity to your life rather than taking away from it. A meaningful connection should leave you feeling uplifted, not depleted. If someone constantly drains you, it is not a reflection of your inability to handle them. It is proof that they do not value your well-being as much as they should. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It is what allows people to connect on a deeper level, offering support, kindness, and compassion when it is needed most. When someone truly cares about you, they do not just hear your words, they listen. They recognize your emotions, validate your struggles, and make an effort to be there for you. But when a person lacks genuine empathy, their concern is often shallow, performative, or entirely absent. They may say the right things, but their actions or lack thereof reveal that they do not truly understand or care about what you are going through. One of the clearest signs of someone lacking empathy is their inability to acknowledge your feelings. When you express sadness, frustration, or disappointment, they may dismiss it outright, telling you that you are overreacting or being too sensitive. They might respond with indifference, offering no comfort or support, or they may even become annoyed, as if your emotions are an inconvenience to them. Instead of trying to understand what you are going through, they belittle or ignore your struggles, making you feel isolated and unheard. Even when they do acknowledge your emotions, their concern often feels hollow. They may say things like, "I understand," or "that must be tough," but their actions do not align with their words. They do not check in on you later, offer help, or show any real effort to support you. Their words are empty because they do not come from a place of true understanding or care. They may even use empathy as a tool for manipulation, acting supportive when it benefits them, but disappearing when you truly need them. Another way a lack of empathy reveals itself is in their inability to consider perspectives beyond their own. They struggle to put themselves in other people's shoes and often view situations only in terms of how they are personally affected. If you bring up something that hurt you, they may shift the conversation back to themselves, making it about their feelings instead of yours. Instead of apologizing when they have done something wrong, they become defensive, justifying their actions without considering how they made you feel. These individuals also tend to show little remorse for hurting others. They might say something cruel, dismissive, or selfish, and when confronted, they do not express genuine regret. Instead, they deflect responsibility by saying things like, "That's just how I am," "You're too sensitive," or "I didn't mean it that way." Rather than recognizing the impact of their words and actions, they make excuses to avoid accountability. This lack of remorse is a strong indicator. that they do not truly understand or care about the emotional consequences of their behavior. Because they lack empathy, they also struggle to offer genuine support. When you are going through something difficult, they may be indifferent, uninterested, or even impatient. Instead of comforting you, they might change the subject, minimize your experience, or make it about themselves. If you are grieving, they may say, "Everyone goes through that. You'll get over it." If you are dealing with stress, they might respond with, "I have problems too, but you don't see me complaining." Their inability to provide emotional support makes them unreliable when you need someone to lean on. Over time, being around someone who lacks empathy can be emotionally exhausting. You may feel unheard, invalidated, or even question your own feelings because they continuously disregard them. You might hesitate to open up, knowing that they will either dismiss your emotions or make you feel guilty for having them. In a healthy relationship, whether it is a friendship, romantic partnership, or family bond, both people should feel safe expressing their emotions without fear of judgment or dismissal. But when empathy is missing, emotional connection becomes impossible. A person who truly cares about you will make an effort to understand your feelings, even if they do not personally relate to them. They will listen without judgment, offer support without being asked, and show kindness even in small ways. They do not have to be perfect, but they will at least try to be present for you when you need them. If someone consistently lacks empathy, their actions reveal the truth. They are not invested in your well-being, and their concern is not genuine. No matter what they say, a person who does not care about your feelings is not someone who truly values you. True care is not shown through words alone, but through consistent actions that reflect respect, empathy, and support. When someone repeatedly disregards your feelings, manipulates you, or makes you feel drained, they are revealing their true nature, not as a caring friend or partner, but as someone who does not genuinely value you. Recognizing these toxic behaviors is not about holding grudges or seeking revenge. It is about protecting your peace and prioritizing your well-being. You deserve relationships that uplift you, not ones that leave you questioning your worth. Letting go of those who do not truly care is not a loss, it is a step towards surrounding yourself with people who do.